Hello, Taurus. How's everybody doing today? I hope that you're doing well. And I had a busy morning with a lot of downloads when it came to intuitive messages and guidance. So I can't wait to share with you everything that's coming through for the month of January. And we're going to be reading for 2021 now. For those of you that are brand new, the way that I work, however, is the beginning portion contains messages that are very much relevant to now and to the next 6 to 8 weeks ahead. So we'll talk about all of that in just a second. Let me introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This little resplendent creature is Apollo. I like to bring him up at the beginning just to say hi. The way that I structure the forecast here is there are 4 major parts. We'll start with the channeled messages, which I get up early every morning that I read and kind of assemble these for you. And that's basically what I get from dreams, intuition, and meditation. After we look at this, I will then pull out the cards and we'll take a look at the additional sort of roadmap that provides, showing high points, any challenges, and then the little decisions that you get to make, because I'm a big proponent of free will. And then after we go into that, I expand the forecast to look at places like health, wealth, love, and destiny in your life, showing you all of the sort of opportunities that are ahead of you. The second part of the reading really focuses on deeper level energetic trends. So I call this the soul path, and I'll identify a few things from that first portion that we look at to go deeper, to develop you and to help you get on a good trajectory for hopefully the next 3 to 6 months after that. And then we do a meditation together, and I play a sound bowl or play a singing bowl to give you a sound bath to kind of help you integrate everything, really. So hopefully you enjoy what's coming through today. And without any additional delay, I'd like to get started. One note before I do that, I'd like to welcome my moderators, Ryan and Maria. I'd like to also welcome everybody, whether it's your first time or you're popping in just to say hi, or you're going to stick around for the whole thing. It's great to see you, and you make this all possible. If you would like to show support while I'm reading, please feel free to do that. You can use Super Chat to do it. And it's right by the little emoji icon here. There's a $sign. And I don't answer questions, but it does help. I have 4 new decks that I'm using today with the assistance of all the Super Chat. Every little bit that you guys provide helps. And I know a lot of you are already channel members, so you guys are already doing it. And same thing with patrons. So thank you so much. All right, let's get started. And what I've been starting to do for all signs is, I don't know why I'm kind of tuning into the planet more than I used to, but I am. And so there's a lot of sort of energy, earth totems, nature totems. And with you today, the nature totem that I was picking up on was water, like yesterday, but it was different. It was actually something that was going on with the water. And it was like a whirlpool, but the word that came to me was maelstrom, and I had to kind of look it up. And let me see here. I knew what it looked like, but I wanted to show you guys a picture of it. And I guess there's a really big one in Norway. And it's interesting. I mean, we see it in science fiction movies, right? It's basically where a bunch of there's 2 or 3 different currents or temperatures of water that come together and kind of create this, this sort of whirlpool, right? But it's also a vortex. And that's really what energetically I think this is symbolizing for you, is this chance to move through things and start to mix everything up too, because sometimes we get too stagnant or too stuck in this lifetime. And when a vortex hits, it's sort of like, okay, I really need to wake up right now, right? So let's talk about what this energetic vortex for your sign is going to kind of entail, what it could also provide for you. Most importantly, it's movement. And when I see portals here, this is like a portal to try something new as well. So cycles of death and rebirth, of course, are going to be coming through. And the message that my guides were imparting upon me to share with you was move or be moved. You can make great strides in the months ahead, not just in January, not just, I would say it starts now, because that energy of movement is already, it's kind of like the spiral of the Milky Way, right? We see this actually in astronomy. So movement is a part of how we exist in energy. So when you're on the outer reach of that, you can't feel it. We're actually moving, and we're in one of the arms of the Milky Way. The whole galaxy is moving. Our solar system is moving. The Earth is rotating around the sun. It's also rotating around its axis. All of this stuff is happening as the galaxies are moving out. So movement's happening even when you don't feel it, even when we sit here and think nothing's happening. So much is happening all around us. So you're just at the edge of that spiral arm of the vortex. And so I want you to start to be aware of where you're headed, what you want to do, so that you don't get sucked into the center, so that you can ride the outer waves of the outside of it and maybe get somewhere faster. It's almost like traveling at light speed. So if you can find a way to navigate the vortex, that's really what this is all about for you right now. You may feel a little out of sorts. That's what 2020 was really, we were already in one vortex. I feel like there's another little tiny vortex that you need to get through in January. And maybe now we can start to see these vortices or vortexes, they both are the correct word, as a chance to get to the next level. It's kind of like wormholes, right? So it's not an accident that actually in Stargate, the movie, that you see this sort of, the wormhole is like a vortex of energy coming out. You know, kind of like a whirlpool. So I feel like that's what we're kind of going through right now. There's going to be a lot of energy of shifting today. What you're trying to be sort of assisted with is redirection and also an awakening. A door is opening, an opportunity is knocking. Are you ready to receive it? Are you ready to go to the door and say, yes, let's do it? I feel like you have to sort of like pick your direction now. Either decide to wait it out and who knows when the door opens again, or take this chance. And we'll talk about it because I think it's going to be outside of your comfort zone. But take this chance and see where it leads. See what kind of exciting paths come your way because you're willing to try something different, to try something new. The most important piece of this, and as I was getting ready this morning, showering and kind of like picking out my outfit and everything, I remembered a time in my life where I think like a lot of us right now, sometimes too much can be going on and you just kind of like stop. It wasn't that I gave up, it was that I didn't have the capacity at that moment to figure out what was next. So I kind of, for like maybe it was almost like a year, I was just waiting. I don't know what I was waiting for. I don't know why. And I was busy, but I wasn't engaged. And this was in corporate that this happened. And it was before I decided to quit. Basically, I was somewhere between 4 of Cups and 4 of Swords. 4 of Cups is, how did I end up here? 4 of Swords is, I am tired and I can't find my energy. Vitality is low and I needed rest. I kept sleeping, but I couldn't get out of it. And I realized it was because it was almost like a spell. You know, in my book, I have this the stone colossus, but she was a seer and she cast a spell and it was called the gloaming. I was kind of in the gloaming where everything looked perfect and was fine, but I was sleepy and I was sleeping through my life. January is a moment where you can wake up if you're in that enchanted spell and get out of the sleep. So you have to get out of the 4 of Swords. You have to get out of the 4 of Cups. You have to get out of the gloaming, this sort of twilight that you might have been in. And we've been in it this year. So we're getting kind of, this is a new year. There's a lot of positive changes that are already happening right now. Let's move with them and let's get out of that outer, like let's get in the outer vortex around it and move around this because there's something better at the other side. All right. Now, the next piece was really interesting because I may actually have a couple of people that are in entertainment or actors, but this was shown to me kind of like what, you know, an actor on the stage, right? And I was being asked to play a role that wasn't my type. So I was being cast against type, which is actually a good thing. Think of in like modern film when sometimes you see a comedic actress or actor play a dramatic role and all of a sudden you see this new depth of character. And it's kind of weird because you're waiting for them to tell a joke, but you're seeing this new side of them. And it because it takes you off guard, it's a little bit more effective. You're seeing something new and exciting. And sometimes the reverse is true. You know, you have a really serious person and they go on something like Saturday Night Live and they're really funny. And you can see that there's additional facets to someone's personality. Or it's a singer and they can act or whatever. Now, in our lives, how can this be relevant to all of us if we're not actors? Well, that's what reincarnation is. We basically decide each lifetime to take on a new role. Sometimes we get sick of that role midway through, or we realize that we miscast ourselves and we want to do something new. So that's what I'll be talking about here is how to break through some of that stuff. So the important thing is it was what was expected, but not necessarily what was needed. So maybe you thought you needed it, maybe someone else wanted you to do it, but now there's a new role that comes through and you're either drawn to it or you're being tasked or asked to try it on. I'm encouraging you to do it if it feels right. This is a growth opportunity. Growth can be scary because growth can be messy, because you might not be guaranteed success from right out of the gate. But if you don't try something new, you're not growing, you're not changing, you're not shifting. So there's something here that could mean that like, oh, I've always been at this type of company or in this type of relationship or in this type of environment, and now I'm being asked to do something new. Will I be okay? Probably you'll be fine, but it's a little scary to go through that. You need to believe in yourself. Any actor can probably tell you that half of it is just bluffing when you go on a casting call. The same thing is true of when you go to a job for an interview, and when you're dating, the same thing is true. We're always kind of trying to put out our best energy. So what you're doing here is projecting the possibility, pulling it out from the heart, pulling it out from the third eye and saying, yeah, I can see myself doing this. I think it's going to work. I know it's going to work. You have to kind of psych yourself into it. And when you see yourself in that role, then you can let go of the fear of, can I do it? And then you can just kind of go for it. You'll be authentic then because you're not worried about the fear of failure or this sort of like imposter syndrome. What I wrote here, I got to fast forward to it and then we'll go back a little bit. This is almost at the end of my messages, but we forget our past so that we can find our future or find our potential. And so that's why we come into this lifetime not knowing who we were. It's not because we're dumb. It's not because the third eye is shut. We purposely, at this point in our evolution or kind of like ascension process, need the amnesia so that we can see an enemy and maybe reforge that alliance this lifetime as an ally. Or we can see someone who we always thought we trusted, but there's another piece of them and we're going to teach them a lesson about something. So we have to play these different roles. And if we remembered too much, it would hinder us. So when we awaken, however, then we can start to realize, oh, that's why this is happening. I mentioned like the Matrix a lot. It's like Neo at that point where he can see all of the code. So the vortex that's opening up in January is going to reveal some of this to you. You're going to have to work past your old fear and programming and reboot yourself. And there's some new opportunities that will come through and you realize you could be like Neo and you can kind of take on any role. All right. The important thing, because I'm looking at actors and this sort of, trying on new facades is you have to use your own voice. What I saw in this was someone feeding lines to the person. And part of it was maybe that they were being asked to memorize something new. Another part of it might have been that there were a lot of changes at the last minute. So if we take it out of the role of acting and kind of think, how could this be something that would, be in everyday life? I don't want you having anybody in your life telling you what to do or how to do it or how to say it. I think it's really important for you to use your own voice, to be authentic. And if someone's feeding you the lines, you can listen to them, but then you can decide like, that's not me, or this is how I would like to say it. One thing that's important is that if you want to go off script, you can, but it's really important for you to have some sort of a sort of understanding of what's going on. And I actually moved these here. Okay, so for those that are being asked to go off script, that's fine, but it's only successful if you actually know where you're headed. And we have a lot of examples of this where people will rip up a script at an award show, but then they stumble and they just kind of speak about nothing for a while. There's a reason I use these cards. It helps me organize the thoughts that I'm getting in the morning. And it's probably my old background in journalism and English where I need to kind of have some sort of a navigation. And that's why I have a structure to these readings. Otherwise, you're just rambling, right? So I think it's good to go off script, but know what you want to say first. If you don't know where you're headed, I don't know where you're headed, and I can't follow you. So yes, be authentic. Yes, use your own voice, but do know the rules and do know the format before you decide to break it, because then it's a lot more powerful and then it makes a lot more sense. Don't be too quick or I guess too shy to think that you can't do it. Let others judge you in a good way, because what you could do is think, let me just try and see how this will go. I believe in this. It feels good. Maybe I'll fall flat on my face. Maybe people will like it. I'm speaking from experience here. When I published the book up there, I was like, I hope people don't hate it. I've spent a decade working on it. So if you are an artist, if you're a writer, if you're a musician, or if you've done anything in your life, you kind of put yourself out there sometimes. But I couldn't not do it. That's bad grammar, but you know what I mean. There comes a point in your life where you can't avoid delivering or trying something. And I feel like you're at this point right now where what have you got to lose by not trying? Except maybe a little bit of hurt feelings here or there, but your soul is wanting you to kind of push through and try something new. Show another facet of yourself. Go against the casting, go against the expectation, and see what people think. On a soul level, you're being shown that you've always had the skill to reinvent, rewrite, and recast your story. I've been talking about this a lot lately, so I want to bring this up. You don't have to keep doing what you're doing. Just because you went to law school, just because you didn't go to school, just because your parents wanted you to get married, just because you're 75 and getting ready for retirement and now want to do something different. Because you're 17 and you want to go on a different road than your parents think. You can change it at any point of the journey. The only time you can't is when you stop breathing. So as long as you're alive, as long as you're moving, as long as you have the ability to say no, or I want this, or don't do this, you can keep moving things and changing things and writing things. Some of us have, of course, more autonomy than others, but use whatever autonomy you have to try to make a difference and to make an impact in your life. As I said earlier, that's what reincarnation is all about. And as I said, I kind of jumped to this and it made more sense earlier when I was talking about it. But part of the reason that we sometimes forget about stuff is so that we can find it later. So maybe you're just waking up to the potential right here and right now, and it's the perfect timing. So I was talking to somebody the other day when I was kind of reminiscing about that. I was telling you guys about the job where I was just at one point sitting there and waiting. I wasn't ready. That's why nothing happened at that point in time. I needed to just sort of plateau. So I believe we're breaking through the plateau. And what I want you to do is kind of have a smoother landing. So it's not like an airplane where it feels like the whole plane is going to explode, but it's really just a lot of friction. So if you start moving now here, as I'm reading in December and at the beginning of January, hopefully as some of you listen to this, then it can be a nice smooth landing. Or you can go around that outer ring or that outer arm of the vortex, rather than through the heart of the maelstrom, right? Okay. Finally, release the old facades and masks and show your true colors. Ultimately, that's what this is all about. That's what we've started to see, is that society is changing. The way we're working is changing. And we've had probably one of the biggest cultural and just biggest changes in history that we all just lived through. If we've lived through it this far, I believe we can make it through next year. And it's going to be a lot more interesting as we go into that. This was the hardest point, I believe, but we'll see. History always kind of throws us curveballs, but I'm feeling some good changes and I'm seeing some big shifts that I haven't. Most of this year was just sort of murky, but I've been seeing a lot of changes coming in for 2021. So I think it'll be exciting. I'm going to start to stack up the cards here, and then I'm going to move along to the tarot cards. If you just joined, don't worry. I do a review right around the midpoint, and then I kind of like look at the cards and see how the messages here might have a correlation. During the next portion, I'm going to remain quiet while I lay everything out. As I said earlier, thanks to everybody that joined and everybody that's given super chats. With exception to the tarot deck, all of the oracle cards are pretty new. The four that I'll use for health, wealth, love, and destiny are new, so I'll highlight those in a second. All right, everybody. I'll be right back. Again, I'm looking at the month of January for the sign of Taurus. You can use it for sun, rising, and moon. Sometimes I neglect to say that. You can also watch on behalf of other people in your life, or you can cross-watch if you'd like. The beginning portions are welcome. Everybody's welcome, because if you show up in the room, I read and channel for you, and that's kind of how it works. Same thing with the meditation at the end. You can show up for every reading if you'd like. Beautiful energy for January. I saw it for Aries too. Really nice what I'm seeing so far. I know I normally don't talk, but I have to just kind of comment that it's pretty bright energy. And everything that I'm going to put here, these are all new decks. So thanks again to everybody that's contributed with Super Chat. I'll keep updating as you guys do that. All right, everybody, thank you so much for giving me a chance to get everything set up. And what a great message from Ganesha here. We have fulfillment coming through. So for many of you, this could be a fulfillment of a soul contract, or part of your life purpose has sort of been checked off the list, right? So it's interesting when something like this happens. This could be like graduation, could be a wedding, could be a divorce, moving, for me, publishing, something like that. Once that happens, then you get a chance to think, now what? What's next? It's exciting and it's scary because we see Ganesha sort of back to the drawing board here on some levels, right? Figuring out, okay, let's get to the next thing and let's not get overwhelmed. And that was something we talked about in Aries yesterday. So I see someone here who is well on their way to finishing, or maybe has just finished and now is thinking, what next? So with the card reversed, a reminder that yes, you can, if you've been having trouble getting something finished or completed. I know a lot of you, especially if you're parents or if you're younger students or even just a person trying to work and you're not good at sort of doing this on your own. This year has not been fun because it feels like you're not productive, that you're not connecting. So you have to keep moving. You can't give up. It may be a sort of bumpier or trickier path, but Ganesha removes obstacles. I had someone the other day asking, who is this? So this is Lord Ganesha, and Lord Ganesha comes through to help us remove blocks and reminds us that it's better than you think. And that's why I'm using it throughout all the readings this month. So anyway, you can finish it, you can do it. And if you did something, that doesn't mean that you're stuck there, that you're done. The fulfillment card means, okay, that's done. Now let's think bigger. What's next? All right. Let's go to your center card. We have the Eight of Wands. What a wonderful card at the center. This is basically showing that there's abundance coming through. It's one of the abundance cards. For those of you that are small business owners, this is good. This shows that there might be an uptick in activity. It might show that there's other opportunities, or if you lose work, maybe you know something didn't make it. This shows that there might be something new that you can latch onto. It's a busy card, and so just like the energy of the maelstrom that kind of moves around, you don't want to kind of get lost in the shuffle with this. And if you feel like you're being left out, or if you feel like you need to get some help, then just like this person, throw out a line, ask for some help. But ultimately, there's nothing negative with Eight of Wands. It really is one of the more positive and sunnier and brighter cards that I could pull. Seven of Wands sometimes has things about, like needing to delegate or not be defensive or whatever. But this one, it's just basically don't let anything fall off the sort of shelf here. You've got a lot of good movement going. So just keep that momentum. It's a really great energy. Okay. This would fuel like the Wheel of Fortune because of what I see here. We have the Two of Cups here showing that partnership is definitely coming through loud and clear for the first two signs that I've been reading for anyway. More can be done with the help of others and in the presence of others. So the fact that this was crossing this is saying that if you need some help, it's there. If you're looking for work, talk to friends and family. It's probably someone close in your life that can help you. And when you're least looking for it, new friendship, love, and opportunities with relationships can come across your path. The key with this was there was some detachment. So this person's really focusing on the tasks at hand, work, school, self-improvement, and something else comes knocking on the door. If you're in a relationship, the challenge is balancing this because you're busy and your partner may want more of your time, or vice versa. Again, maybe you're the one that's waiting to go back to work or have been furloughed or are working from home, and your partner might be, maybe they work at a hospital or something like that. And so there's that feeling of where am I? Where am I in this mix, and where is my partner at? The other thing is you could be separated by time or distance here as well. But whatever it is, these are navigatable issues. If you're single and happy, I just really see some attractive energy coming through. So it's a good time to get out there and make some progress with work and connections and networking. You need to network. So I'm kind of telling a lot of the signs, too bad, it looks like you're supposed to be connecting with people. And they're more receptive. People miss that in-person connection. So even a cold call or email, and when I say cold, I'm just saying like without any warning. So if you're looking for a job and you reach out to an old contact, they might just be happy to hear from you. So you should start first with the friendly banter and just say, oh my gosh, I was thinking about you today. How are you doing? What's going on? Let the sort of natural friendship re-engage, and then you can kind of tell them what's going on. Say, I also was wondering, do you have any insights on this? Do you know anyone I could talk to? Don't go straight in for what your request is. Be friendly, be amicable. So for those of you that are really more focused on business and kind of career, this is saying you've got to still remember the friendly stuff, and this sort of the people in your life that have been there for you can help you on the next level too. So no matter what, relationships should be balanced out. You should make time for people that you love. You never know how this is going to benefit you. Plus, it's going to feel better, and it's good for both sides of the equation. But yes, you could meet love. I feel like it's, though, unexpected because the Eight of Wands is a distracted card. So if you could just detach a little bit from needing or wanting to have that energy in your life, if you're looking for love, that will probably be the best way to do it. We have the Ace of Wands in reversed, in the reverse state, I should say. Ace of Wands, most aces are good cards, so I don't get nervous when I see that. But I will say to bring it into the upright position, one thing that we want to look at is how are you feeling? I talked about vitality before. Ace of Wands can be sort of like mental acuity and this sort of feeling of, do I feel ready to do this? Do I want to do this? Or kind of like this fish here that we see in the Destiny card, am I feeling pulled under by that energy, that whirlpool? So if you're feeling heavy energetically, then look at what is the cause of it. Is it just a lack of motivation? Is it pressure? Is it just depression? It could be a lot of different things. And I say just depression, but depression is an important thing. Mental health is just as important as what's going on in our physical body. So take care of yourself. Get that part sort of sorted out first. It's also just staying open. This is an ideation card. And when I'm looking at this animal that's thinking like, can I get to this other side? I think there's a better way. Like you don't have to try to bridge. There's another way to bridge the gap. So thinking about a solution not being not only one way to do it. This is where talking to someone else could actually help you vet out an idea to check your own sort of intuition. So stay open-minded. Look at why you may be feeling less inspired or less vitality, and then realize I have ideas, I'm still alive, I can still make things happen, and get back into your power, back into your source. We talked about source energy quite a bit yesterday. There's a little bit of a nod to it here as well. Okay. As we look at recent past, one of the challenges for some of you might be overcoming a health issue. We have the Strength card in reverse, which can also be some of that fatigue. But realize too that mental and emotional fatigue then sometimes just cause physical fatigue, but it's more here for some of you. For those of you that might have been sick, whether it's COVID-19 or just the flu or something else, this is showing that you have the ability to recover. You just have to take care of yourself. So make some time to do that. With respect to relationships in your life, the Strength card in reverse is a reminder to not sort of give in to somebody who's trying to push your buttons. Because sometimes it's a test to just sort of see what you're going to do, how you're going to react. It can also be a chance for you to just say no, have better limits. Because a lot of times our tentative energy or tentative nature attracts people who want to then dominate or push their way into those cracks. So when you just say no, or this doesn't work for me, then you've set up a new power dynamic where you're in control. So this is a chance to reclaim power and to set better boundaries. We have the King of Wands here. Great card. This is like the ultimate management card. Most of your cards are upright. We actually have like 2 or 3 in reverse here. But with this leadership card in reverse, it's also kind of reminding you to say, am I looking at the big picture? Do I understand? Am I empathizing with what this person feels or thinks? If not, could I do a better job of doing that? What other ways are there of thinking about this? You don't have to admit that one person is right or wrong. It's really just about opening up and thinking, okay, let me listen. Let me hear that out. Let me really put myself in your path, in your shoes, and see if this is the right way to do it. Anytime I see a leadership card reverse, it's also about just taking accountability for your own life. So this is management. This is a lot of times, even though it's not about money, it can be about looking at how you conduct yourself. So I see like wands as organization. So where are you disorganized? Where are you maybe not paying attention to things? Have you spread the sort of like net so wide and so thin that you have let little things go, like maybe paying the bills or going to the doctor or just sort of like doing the dishes or whatever it is? This is a chance to just get your own life organized and managed, okay? Success is in the near future. We have the 6 of Wands. It can also show a period of time, looking at the next 2 quarters of the year, going even into June. Notice here how people are looking to you to make a decision, to take the lead. This is why all of the other cards were kind of about figuring out where your headspace is, how you're feeling, figuring out power dynamics so that when you step into this role, you're ready and you're not worried so much about these people. And the other thing, 6 of Wands to me always cuts 2 ways. The first is showing that you can do it. The second is showing that part of the success in doing that is not like disregarding the masses, because you want to do something that is going to be well received, but also not playing for the masses. Because sometimes when you try to create either your persona or something that is just there to please, then it loses its potency or its relevance. So if you can just be really honest, and even if it's unpopular, if it's powerful, it could change things. You could have that paradigm shift, which is really, when we go back to the maelstrom, what this whole reading is about today is shifting perspectives. So thought leaders do things that are unusual, that haven't been done before. Boring, might be popular, but it isn't always like super successful, or nor does it always have the longevity that you might be looking for. So sometimes if you come out and really make a splash, since we're kind of still in the water theme, it can be amazing. So don't be afraid to do that, because this portends good things. Now we have the Emperor, the High Priest here in the upright position in the ego. I like that. It also shows me that whomever or whatever is pulling at your strings or pushing your buttons or making you wonder, can I do it? It's just, again, sort of like a temporary test from the universe. And it's just, the sooner you can get through that, the better. And the less that you give to that person, place, or thing energetically, the better as well. With this, the other thing that I would say is it's really important for you to have a hands-on role with what's going on in your life. And whenever we have like an Emperor card or a Hierophant card, and with the High Priest is the Hierophant. So with that, you really want to be focusing on creating a structure and an organization, right? So are you organized? Are you ready? Is everything okay? And with the High Priest, just like the 6 of Wands, again, Hierophant, this is like churches, institutions, hierarchy. So is there a chance that you can break through that hierarchy right now and do something different? Create your own system, your own path, your own role, your own story, as we were talking about. If so, do it, own it, create it. You are the one that's kind of driving this ship, okay? Ace of Pentacles. We have a lot of aces. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, which is really cool. So Ace of Pentacles is in the environment. This is the new job, the new opportunity, the new love interest, the new contract, all of the above. Notice, though, that there's someone or something that's a little territorial over this opportunity. So this is interesting because if you are receiving something right now, you were cosmically ready, the portal was open, and you went through it. If somebody else didn't or is jealous, then their timing was off, and the jealousy is probably a part of the reason that the door isn't opening up. So try to ignore that bear there. Better not to sort of like shake the tree or go there and make things worse than they already are. Don't poke the bear, basically. Just move forward to this portal here. There's something really great on the horizon. If you lose someone along the way because they can't celebrate the success, then they weren't really an ally. They were someone that were kind of out for their own success instead. But aside from that one little bear here, I feel like there's some really cool stuff on the horizon. You just have to navigate the same energy that we're seeing here. But you've got this. That's the reminder here is I don't need to do this. I'm not going to get afraid of this. I'm not going to get upset. I've been moving towards this for a long time. We have the Ace of Cups here in reverse. This is in Hope, Fears, and Opportunity, going back to the emotional state of being. When we look at your mind and when we look at your heart, that's where things are off. Everything else, when we look at the environment, like the Eight of Wands, the Six of Wands, even just your capacity to create and organize things, it's all good. But then King of Wands, Ace of Wands, and Ace of Cups, and the Strength card, those are reversed, and those are your confidence, basically, and your emotional side. So if you can psych yourself into it and just push yourself into it, muscle memory sometimes takes over, and anybody that does act finds a way to make it work when they're on the job, right? Or even if you're put into something and like you're a dancer or even like a nurse or a doctor, and you have to kind of go in and triage something, and all of a sudden it's sort of like you start doing it, right? So trust in your muscle memory and your intuitive capacity to download and be present. Don't let your emotions get in the way. Ace of Cups could show that some of you are going to find something deep and meaningful in a relationship, but you're not looking for it, but it's coming nonetheless. This card is neither upright or reverse. It's just crossing the I'm busy and I don't know if I'm ready. Guess what? Too bad. You need to deal with something either emotionally or with relationships this month. It's interpersonal because it's the Two of Cups. So this is about you figuring out, am I happy? Why am I not ready for this? Is it fear? Is it just being tired? Is it fatigue? How can I feel that sense of fulfillment? And you can't find happiness through others. You find happiness within, and you can celebrate that happiness with someone else. So if you're looking at finding your better half, your other half, or whatever missing piece, then that's already flawed. You are complete. You complete you, and you're going to attract someone who's also complete. And the two of you can have happiness together. If there's something off in your current relationship and there's codependencies, this is a chance to pull the cups upright and help your partner fill their cup up, but not at the risk of emptying yours. So all metaphors notwithstanding, it's important for you to be happy with yourself, by yourself, with what's going on. You got to love yourself. You got to accept yourself. You got to see your power. Doing that will increase and improve your relationships around you tenfold. I had some people concerned when they said that I was going to look at like love. Don't worry, it'll be in the same vein if I do a collective love reading. It's always with the lens of how are you and what are you doing to attract or detract energy around you? And also how is your energy relating to people around you? That's all. It's always about you. That's what this life is about. So as long as you're good, then things around you tend to be in that same sort of energy. We've got the Ten of Cups reversed. This is friends and family, and this could be the pull that they are kind of like creating around you. So just like astrological bodies out there, the sun, Jupiter, really big kind of massive energies. Look at what they do. They pull things around them because they're so big that they all have satellites. So for you, this could be mom and dad. It could be brother or sister. It could be a friend that just has a really big energy. It feels like that big, massive energy is trying to pull you in. I want you to make sure that you have your own satellites, you have your own energy, you have your own trajectory. So again, the big message here is, what are you bringing to the equation? What are they bringing to the equation? How can you find yourself again? Because the fish looks to me like it's at the bottom of the whirlwind or the maelstrom that I was looking at, which means that there's all this other stuff that's creating all the bubbles around this. And all you need to do is find your path again and get back up to the surface and get some perspective. Okay. But guess what? 2 of cups, ace of cups, 10 of cups. That's love, love, and love. Okay. So if you're looking for love, yeah, you've got a good chance this month with these cards. You've got a great chance. What you want to look at is, are you ready? Are you happy? Are you sorted out? Because you also have an opportunity knocking. And if not, like, focus on this, focus on self-confidence as well. The other stuff will sort itself out. I do feel like love is probably going to come in maybe at an inconvenient time or inconvenient way, because we have work, business, public energy. So while you're out and about, this is when you could meet someone. So maybe don't wear sweatpants when you go to the grocery store or the gym or something. Like, look your best. You never know when you're going to meet the next person, or if you're single and happy, when you're going to meet the CEO that's going to hire you for the next job. Okay. Let's move along, and we're going to expand the forecast now. Let me just take a quick drink. Alrighty. Now, for all the cards that you guys helped me buy, thank you. We're going to look at your plant message here, which is your health message. It says, intelligence and mental beauty. Wisdom is the abstract of the past, but beauty is the promise of the future. I think some of this is also talking about that idea of discovering yourself. That's why we come through with that amnesia. I'm going to start to Google all of these flowers, because some of them I've never heard of, but I'm going to read the message here, which is intelligence and mental stability, which does go to mental acuity. And also, I feel for many of you, it's like heart and third eye that you really want to focus on, right? So take time to do that. Anyway, I love that. I love that card. Clematis. Okay, anyway, we're going to look now at a couple of cards here for health too. Fatigue, please don't overdo it this month, right? I really want you to take care of yourself, because everything here is positive. Don't freak out. But fatigue gives way to sort of a lowered immune system, and we cannot afford that until there are, vaccines, or until this pandemic gets under control. So until everything's approved and we're all kind of in a better place, you have to take care of yourself. This can also be just like, I'm tired of all of this. That's okay. It's valid. But look at all the good stuff that's coming through. I feel like you've got to sort of talk yourself into planning ahead. Make some plans. Make some plans for work, for fun, for personal development. And even if you have to shift the dates a little bit, you still need to know where you're going. Otherwise, you're just swirling around in that whirlpool, right? It would be really good to be occupied and busy. So read, walk, write, do things. Keep your mind moving, because that mental acuity, that sharpness is going to open you up to some of the other stuff that's going on. Definitely with all of the seated cards here, I want you to make sure that you're getting out as allowed. Here in LA, we're getting curfews again, and things are shutting down, but you can usually walk your dog. You can usually take a quick walk or something like that, even on the balcony. Get out, get some fresh air, and make sure that you're moving around a little bit. And then just always balance. Whenever I see like 9 or 10 of cups and it's reversed, it can sometimes mean that you're overdoing food or drink, which is completely understandable. I'm not here to lecture. I'm just saying, take it easy, everything in moderation. By the way, welcome to the new channel members. I saw we got a couple of new ones. I appreciate it, guys. Okay, let's move along to wealth. I love this, blessings and abundance. And the interesting thing with a lot of the cards that I've been looking at over the past couple of days is it's really about channeling your energy, creating. So in this one, we are seeing a focus on heart space, right? The heart is leading the way. And because we have 2 of cups, ace of cups, and 10 of cups coming through as well, passion is really, really important. So with money, with wealth, with career, with personal development, if you don't feel it, why are you doing it? And if you do love it, if you are passionate about it, why are you afraid of what other people are thinking? Because you're being led exactly on the right path. So even if you feel like you need to make an about course change, like, oh my gosh, I have to go 90 degrees or all the way full U-turn, I got to change my direction. That's okay if you've thought it through and if your heart is telling you that this is the right time. So we see the heart and a little bit of the throat. So this is about starting to articulate what you're feeling, starting to pull that into action, right? Okay. Now let's take a look at the cards and see what we're looking at with this. We do have an Ace of Pentacles, which bodes well because that tells me that if you're stuck, you can either create a new opportunity or you might find one. It's a competitive field out there right now, right? That angry bear keeps coming through on this card. So you've got to not be intimidated. You know, I was coaching someone the other day and they were just really nervous about what people would think or that they weren't good enough. And that was going to be the block right there. So when we see this card, same thing. That bear probably is just as scared as you. It's just bigger. It just looks scarier. And it's using its body language, just like a dog would, to sometimes push you away. But you need this too. So you're going to be strong and just not, like I said, don't poke the bear and you should be okay. The other thing that I see is that there's a lot going on. So if people have forgotten about you, remind them that you're there. For those of you that are successfully employed, and some of you are very busy right now, take time to communicate what you're doing. Take time to check in with coworkers and make sure that you're on the radar, that your star is shining, that people can see you, okay? Because that will help you in the long run when growth opportunities happen. They'll remember that you've been there working hard all these months. So that's a little light at the end of the tunnel there as well. It's all about relationships and who you know. Sadly, I'm going to say that. This is right at the center. 2 of Cups. 6 of Wands is buzz and feedback around you. 10 of Cups is also very clicky when it's reversed. So if you're working in a company that cares about who's popular or who's who, or if you're in a family and it's all about that sort of feedback, decide for yourself if that's where you want to stay. If it's where you want to stay, you've got to play that sort of energy to get to the next level. Whenever I do coach someone, I ask them what their goal is. If your goal is advancement, I've given you the key. If your goal is development or what's fair, maybe this isn't the best place. Maybe there's something better. It really kind of hinges on what you're trying to accomplish with this moment in time. It's like a class. All right, let's look at love. We have new beginning, which also with it can carry like an ending. So it says, thank you, angels, for opening up my doors to change. I'm ready. Hello, maelstrom. That's what's going on. That's what we're talking about. So we see someone walking away from the shadow of the past, walking into their light body, becoming free, liberating themselves. I love that it's an angel here. It's a doorway, which I was talking about at the beginning. That's all the maelstrom really symbolized for me. And so, yes, something new, but something old has to fall out as well. So I mentioned that maybe for the advancement, maybe even if you got engaged, maybe for whatever this new development is, you lose someone, but you're going to gain someone better. So, or someone that's on the, let's not put bad or good, that's not elevated. Let's just say someone on the same energy level as you, right? So what's happening now, whenever you kind of go up an energetic frequency, the cool thing is people around you can elevate. Likewise, if someone around you is really doing great, if you can kind of learn from them, you get that upgrade too. So your people around you are getting sort of this sort of little, it's like an iOS update coming, and they get to either accept or decline. So a lot of people are declining, some people are accepting. The people that accept go into the next program with you. The people that decline stick here for a while until things get outdated, and then they go into the next level. So I think the bear is just declining right now, but eventually, hopefully it upgrades. That's all that is. But meanwhile, you're going to meet some cool people in the same frequency. And for some of you, you might meet someone that really, really you connect with, okay? With respect to that, we have the King of Wands and we have the High Priest. They're very similar energies. They're both stubborn. The High Priest or the Hierophant is literally like the Pope in many decks, right? And so the King of Wands is the ultimate boss card. So these two people both think they know what they're doing. And they probably do, but for successful relationships, there does have to be give and take. If the two horses on the chariot are going in opposite directions, the chariot gets split in two. So I think for this relationship to work, if it's new, even if it's an older relationship, what has to happen is figuring out, yes, you can do this time. but I want to do this next time. So give and take, give and take. Okay, let's move along to your destiny card. Oh, last thing, with the 10 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles, that can be a new beginning, like a proposal or a new contract being signed. It feels though like you aren't sold on it 100%. So if the timing's off, acknowledge that, because the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Cups is reversed. This could be an arranged marriage. This could be something that's expected for you to do. Like, again, maybe your family's pushing you to go and be a doctor or a lawyer, but you want to be a pianist or something like that, or you want to be some other sort of artistic thing. So I don't know why piano came to mind, but maybe a painter or maybe writer or whatever. You've got to follow your heart, and don't go down that road if you don't want to. All right, let's look at destiny, which is malleable, which is basically the trajectory that you're taking. So we have the fish, which it's interesting. I remember in another sign, I think it was in Pisces, we had a fish in the outcome. So, hey, Apollo. So that can sometimes be sort of like a water sign. So definitely there's that energy. It can be emotional. But when I'm looking at this fish, it seems to me like it's just caught up in the tidal pool or caught up in that whirlpool that we were talking about earlier. So make sure that you are fulfilled, that you're not lost in the shuffle, that you feel appreciated, that you feel connected, and that you swim in the direction that you want to swim. So notice how there's not another fish here. There doesn't have to be. So it's just really like, do you feel like, are you ready for some calm water? Are you ready for what's next? You have to get through this next phase though, and kind of like pick a direction, because otherwise I do feel like it's just swirling around. So there's a decision, and this decision, although scary, could also bring in some really great energy and great relationships, right? All right, let's go ahead and quickly review what we've talked about, and we'll go into a deeper soul path, and we'll look at some of the things here, like as we're looking at the power dynamics, what's going on with the power dynamics, or what's going on with this contract. And then I usually pull a wild card too, so we'll take a look at that in just a second, but let's quickly review. If you just joined, welcome. It's like perfect timing. All right, so the first message here was sort of like your nature totem, which was a maelstrom. And I basically showed a picture of that. I can do it again. It's just a tide pool, basically, or not a tide pool, but a whirlwind. Here we go. It's this. So it's when it was moving in circles even there. It's basically when 2 or 3 bodies of water kind of come together, and there's that, like what you would see in a bathtub, basically. So this maelstrom is showing movement, openings like portals or vortices or vortexes that are kind of saying, are you ready? You can easily get stuck in that. So what's important is to have some sort of a choice, a decision, a movement, right? The main message here is move or be moved. Are you ready, everyone? Because I feel like if you're not, you miss a big opening, a big portal. If you are ready, then you can make tremendous progress right now. Great things can happen, great strides, and it's a good time for you, even if it's a little scary. You may feel a little bit out of sorts, like the fish that we saw here. Where am I? What's going on? Am I awake? And that's really what this is about. It's basically a redirection, and for many of you, an awakening to a new path. And a calling. So big doorways are opening up for you. And January is named after Janus, the two-faced or two-headed god, looking at the past and looking at the future. So it makes sense that a lot of what I'm talking about is past and future today. Pick your direction, keep navigating, as the energy will soon even out. January is just a little bit more tumultuous than expected. You have to stay alert. You have to avoid what I was talking about, the sleepwalking. You can't be in the 4 of Cups, which is like, how did I get here? Why am I here? I don't know how I get out. And the 4 of Swords, which is I don't feel like getting out. I'm just happy kind of parking it. You're being asked to take a new role. This is kind of against type. So I was using the example of, maybe a theater or film actor that might be a comedian that's playing drama or vice versa, and how that can be really interesting. It's also showing the true potential. Just because expectations are there doesn't mean that that's all you can do. This is a great growth opportunity, and you do have what it takes to make it work. Believe in yourself, because if you don't, nobody can or nobody will. You have to really see the potential. And it's not like faking it. It's actually just imagining what's possible and then giving yourself a chance to go there. And use your own voice. Don't let people write your lines for you in real life. So if we take it out of the context of acting, If somebody's trying to tell you what to say or push you into doing something, no, that's not why you were hired. That's not why you were on this path. You're supposed to speak up. If you're gonna do any public speaking, it's okay to go off script if and only if you know what you're doing. If you don't, you're gonna ramble and sound crazy. So it's important for you to kind of have an idea of what you're doing. That's why I use these cards. I don't read them verbatim, but I look at them and then I remember what I was gonna say. It helps. Know the rules, then break them. I think that's great advice across the board. There are times when they need to be changed, bent, or reforged, but if you don't follow some, then it's just chaos. Don't be too shy or too quick to think that you can't do something. Let other people show you your potential as well. There can be a positive sometimes with that, where people are like, no, that was great. And then you get confidence. You shouldn't put all of your confidence in them, but I see the Six of Wands showing me that it's worth taking a leap of faith. This lets you show another facet of your soul. Just trust that they're going to love it. Let them love it. On a soul level, you're being shown that you always have the skill to reinvent, to rewrite, and to recast your story and all of the people in it. That's why we're coming through and reincarnating. To that end, we come through initially with amnesia so that we are not tainted or stuck or typecast. So you're supposed to be trying something against typecast. Release the old facades, masks, show your true colors. Yesterday for Aries, we talked a lot about kind of like becoming the star. There was a cool hermit card over here that was in that energy of transition. So you are just in a big portal, so you don't even need that. You just need to kind of like open up and release, and I feel like the energy will take you where you need to go. Fulfillment. Ganesh is reminding you that you can do anything that you set your mind to. That even once you finish something, that doesn't mean it's the end of the journey. It just means have fun now. Now you've done the hard work. Now you can try anything that you want because you've already shown that you have the mettle, you have the energy that it is necessary to do something. So back to the drawing board or don't give up. Both ways you can read this card. Also, like just when it comes to fulfillment, are you fulfilled in your work? Are you fulfilled in your relationships? If it's missing, I forgot to mention, like the catalyst is your key card. So if something's not working, go back to this message and think, well, am I fulfilled? Well, then why am I doing this? Or why am I with this person? Or why am I stuck in this way of thinking? Open up the key and be happier, and that's going to help you release the sort of block. Eight of Wands, which is busyness and success. It's crossed by a cooperative card, the Two of Cups. So for those of you that are really, really focused on something else, you're going to probably be tasked this month with balancing out relationships, either your romantic or professional relationships. Don't forget the ones you love or that love you, and find a way to create some harmony there. And even if you're fiercely independent, too bad. You're going to have to work with some other people this month with the Two of Cups and the Six of Wands and the Ten of Cups. Literally, that's people, people, people. So you may have a lot of leadership responsibilities, but you can't forget the people that you're leading. That also includes moms and dads and, patriarchs and matriarchs. It doesn't matter what the function is, whether it's CEO or just a small group. It is about putting yourself in the shoes of other people. Ace of Wands in reverse, find your vitality, open up your mind, get inspired again. Whatever has brought you out of that feeling of inspiration, get back into it. Strength card, obviously take care of yourself. The fact that it's here and not death or something else or Ten of Swords tells me that you can push through it, but you can't burn the candle at both ends forever. You have to eventually just rest, and that's okay. Don't let people pull your strings or, whatever metaphor you want to use, push your buttons, because what we see here are two control cards and a person that's trying to kind of test you. And we see it in the way of this little bear here. So somebody's protecting their territory this month. Remind them that it's not about that. I mentioned yesterday, like a Hunger Games reference, you don't have to have win or lose. You can both win or you can both be successful, and it's not the end of the world. King of Wands, keep an open mind, manage your own life, get things under control. You might have been spending a lot of time and energy focusing on others, focus on yourself right now. And with the Six of Wands, I see success and growth. Don't worry about it. Don't obsess over it. Just really be authentic. That's the main message that came through when I was talking about sort of like being an actor. Be yourself. When you are yourself, actors, ironically, are more successful when they tap into something authentic. I saw an old audition of the kid that played Elliot on E.T. the movie from the 80s. And he nailed the first interview, not the interview, but the audition. He like cried on cue. He was amazing. And he talked later about, he just pulled up a memory of losing a family pet or something like that. But he accessed real memories, real pain, real situations, and kind of imagine what it would be like to be torn away from someone. So how are you authentic? By being authentic. Like, you're successful by being yourself. Stay organized this month. Again, organize yourself and then lead by example, basically with these two cards here. The Hierophant is successful only if they walk the walk and talk the talk. Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities. Ignore the fear, ignore the people that are maybe not supporting your movement, your growth. That's on them, not on you. Are you happy and are you ready? You might actually be presented with a couple of opportunities. One could be going after something that feels right, one that looks better on paper, and that maybe people are expecting or pushing you to go into. So again, could be a hand in marriage, it could be a job, interview, upgrade, whatever going on here. But if you're not ready for this, promotion is what I meant to say, then it's probably not the right path. Go back into your heart and soul and trust that. And then we have here to lean on your intelligence and mental beauty is a really interesting thing. If you see it, other people see it. The beauty is in your perception of what's going on, whether it's I'm selling this product, this service, or I am presenting myself for you to judge. If I judge myself as good, then I really don't care what you think. I hope you agree, but if you don't, it's not going to destroy me. See the beauty within. Let other people see that as well. The intelligence also, in this case, shines through. Listen to yourself and your body, because this is in health. So if something doesn't feel right, speak up with this as well. With wealth, we have blessings and abundance. And I agree with that. There's really not a negative card in this whole spread. There's a couple that need to be monitored because of illustrations or whatnot, but it's like all positive energy. The only thing that could pull you off course is the whirlwind or the maelstrom that I was talking about. So with wealth, you might have a couple choices, or you might be drawn in another path and it's a little bit of a sacrifice. Whatever it is, the sacrifice seems like it's worth it, because you'll either be doing what you want and finding your true self. You might be calling in someone new. You might be moving past that shadow side, integrating that energy and finding your light self. Whatever it is, I feel like this is a change. This is a fork in the road, and it's a good one. New beginning for relationships could go deeper, could be separating. It's up to you, because the 10 of Cups is reversed, but you have to want whatever's coming your way. So if you don't want it, you should always listen to that. And finally, with the Fish, don't get lost in the shuffle. Honestly, with the 6 of Wands and the 8 of Wands there, I think that there's a lot of like potential peer pressure or publicity or stuff swirling around you, and it's sort of like, hey, I'm here. So don't get lost in the shuffle. All right. Let's take a look at the soul path. I want to look at the power dynamics here between the Strength card, the Knight of Wands, and the High Priest, aka the Hierophant. It's so confusing because it almost looks like the Emperor. So it kind of has a little bit of both energies with me. So we just see a lot of control cards here, right? So what's it about? What do you need to focus on? Do you need to let go? Do you need to focus more? So let's see what's going on. Prince of Cups, like it. Okay, so this is really about moving towards your passion, which is what we've been talking about, and loving what you're doing. And for some of you, we've gone to a lower, kind of like a night energy here. So what this is saying is sometimes it's not about title. It's not about status. It's about, are you happy? So for many of you, you could be doing something that is not as highly regarded, but it's totally where your heart space is. And it's going to move you in the right direction. And if you feel like you might be missing time by doing this, like going back to school, or maybe, do I have time for even a relationship or whatever it is? The answer is yes. If your heart is bringing you there, it's yes. And passion creates momentum and creates trajectory. So I keep getting, though, that if you let go a little bit, somebody could come into your life as well and bring some joy, bring some happiness, bring some stability as well. So love definitely is coming through. 2 of Cups. Ace of Cups, 10 of Cups, and now the Knight of Cups. It's hard to avoid it at this point. So I feel like it's a really important time. And even just with this emotional card, which I also read as a Cups card, I feel like once you're happy, then the love, then the satisfaction, then also other people celebrating your success, all that stuff comes together. So be happy and allow yourself to receive abundance in all forms. Love is part of that. Not just money, not just wealth, not just reputation. You got to be happy. You got to love yourself. Let people love you too. Let's look at the opportunity with the bear. What's going on with the territorial stuff? All right, so we have a Prince of Wands here in reverse. So for some of you, you might have to fight a little bit for something that you want. The other thing is it's a closed mind when I look again at some of these Wands cards reverse. So you may need to show a little bit more, go a little bit above and beyond to help somebody see what the potential is. This then could upset someone who thinks, wait, I've been here longer, or I have more of a right to this than you. But if you show up and you do everything you're supposed to do and you show that other facet of yourself, if you take a risk, you don't have any apologies to make for somebody else seeing that. The other thing here, we have a couple of princes coming through. So choices, choices on paths, choices on relationships, choices between happiness and maybe for some of you just sort of being burned out. So I feel like you should be choosing the happiness as well. Even if that means maybe sacrificing an opportunity. Remember what we talked about before, new beginnings. So if you don't like the choices in front of you, create something new. There's a lot of creative energy in front of us here. Let's do a wild card and just see what the universe wants to tell you. Okay, so now we have the Emperor card here, the Lord. It is reversed. And so again, I think we have to go back to understanding all these power cards reverse. What I would say for you, I'd like to remind you this. You have the capacity to do anything that you want. You're not limited by anything sometimes but your own, maybe your own imagination. And if there is a school, a workplace, or a relationship that you're in where the other person doesn't allow you to step into your power, then it might be time to step out of that so that you can step into something bigger and brighter. So the bigger message for all of you this month is, are you happy? Are you being lifted up? Are you being supported? Are you being encouraged? And if you're not, whatever it is around you, whether it's a person, an environment, a family, a society, whatever, it's time for you now to maybe move, to try something new, to find a place where you can be in control without apologies and you can be your true self. So finding your power, finding your voice, and not giving it so much to other people, I think is a big piece of today's reading for you. 10 of Cups is great, but it can also be, it can drown you out with all of that sort of expectation, right? So you've got to follow your heart and you'll be okay if you do that, all right? So let's meditate, but before we do that, I'd like to quickly just ask if you can like and subscribe. Your help helps me reach more people and helps keep this channel successful. So if you could just hit the thumbs up, the subscribe button, it is a great help to me and I appreciate you for doing that. All right, I'd love for you to stick around for the meditation. I may pull a card at the end as well to see if there's any additional kind of like wild card messages. The meditation usually only lasts 2 minutes and it's welcome for all, helps us integrate. And today I want to focus on power. We're going to go into the solar plexus because of all of the power cards, and we're going to pull the energy up. But I actually think we should start with the root. We'll focus on this space, and then we'll pull it all the way through the top. Because if you're not, really feel like we neglect chakras 1, 2, and 3 a lot because we just kind of think of like going out of body and everything. But if you don't have the grounding, if you don't believe in yourself, if the power centers are off a little bit, then it's really hard to maximize what you're receiving. It's kind of like when you plug something in and the cord, you have to get the right adapter or the cord is the wrong voltage. We want to get a big sort of channel so that you can pull more energy through. Otherwise, it's like a little tiny cord and it burns out. And we don't want that to happen. All right, so at this point, if you could close your eyes and let's imagine for this, I want us to kind of start maybe in the morning. We'll see the moon and then we'll go from the moon into the sun rising. That way we can kind of get divine feminine and masculine energies balanced out. All right, so close your eyes for a second, relax, and imagine that you are right before sunset. Maybe you can see a little bit of energy on the horizon, a little bit of light, like this faint glow around the edge of the earth. But you're focusing on the moon, which is right above you. A single beam of light, a moonbeam, is shining on your body. I want you to take a moment and allow this gentle silver light to kind of awaken your senses and also all the sort of energy that might have been holding you back. If there's anything sad, if there's anything heavy, allow the moon to gently work its way in and just give you the sense of calm and that it's going to be okay. It's almost like a nice warm hug. So as you allow the moonbeam to create a circle or even like a perfect triangle of light around your body, your heart naturally connects to the center of the earth. And the center of the earth is warm, it's light, it's vibrant. It also sends a protective shield around the body as well. So you have the moonlight, you have this electromagnetic shield keeping you grounded, keeping you safe. Now, as you are kind of connected in these two divine feminine energies, I want you to focus on the lower three chakras. Imagine that you could send that anchor and more sort of energetic roots into the planet and just feel secure so that no matter what storm comes your way, you can handle this. And then as you go from the first chakra into the second, where we hold our creativity, our sexual expression, our passion, I want you to feel this ability to go out there and do whatever you want to do. This is really where I want you to feel like nobody cares. It's just going to be fun. Feel passion, feel excitement building through this chakra. And now as we get into the solar plexus, notice now that as it starts to light up, you can see the sun rising on the horizon. And as it does, as you're looking out across the water in front of you, a single line of light starts to ripple upon the water, and you actually reach out and pull that towards your solar plexus and you plug in. So we're going to meditate for a moment, and I want you to imagine that the energy is moving up through your throat, through your third eye, through your crown, until it's kind of overflowing like the Ace of Cups. So we're pulling earth energy through the bottom and we're pulling sun energy through the solar plexus. And you can still see the lunar energy also coming through the top crown. So there's energy moving all around you as we're doing this, and you're going to upgrade and feel like the queen or the king or the emperor, empress that you are, and just relax. Take a deep breath if you haven't already. And imagine now that as the energy starts to even out, that you are actually wearing a crown of light on your crown chakra from the solar energy. And maybe even there's a little crescent moon in it as well, showing that divine masculine and feminine energy that we can all access. We can be both king and queen of our own domains. See this bright energy around your heart and your solar plexus. Beautiful golden, beautiful green energies mixing, and maybe see yourself seated upon a beautiful wooden throne connecting you to the earth energy. And imagine now in the months ahead, not just in January, but in 2021 as well, that you're going to be more capable of being in control, being able to communicate, letting your heart be seen, because as we saw with the Six of Wands, there's a lot of love and support for you. So let others celebrate your true self and let you celebrate it as well if you can. When you're ready, you can take one final breath. You can rub your hands together, sealing off the energetic upgrade that we've created, putting your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top of that, saying a promise to yourself that you're going to go after what you want to go after here in the month ahead. It's worth it. There's a lot of great opportunities in front of you. You're going to rise above that maelstrom. You're going to use the energy. You're going to move through the vortex and see what changes it brings. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. We'll pull one last card and then we'll wrap up. See if there's any other messages maybe about the vortex. The sun. We're going to be fine. And we just worked on the solar plexus, so everything's good. Thank you for validation, guides, and universe. Also, the sun is delivering something new. So it's like rebirth, right? So this is a chance to give birth to a new part of yourself. For those of you looking to create, maybe even looking to have a baby, this is a good time to look at that as well. So, but I like this. This is really your solar plexus and your inner child saying, thank you for healing me today. So thanks everyone for healing that little kid. It seems very happy that you did that. All right. So I'd like to just take a moment to give you some ways that you can connect with me. We'll wrap up here. And a reminder before I do any of that, that I'm going to do a special live reading on New Year's Eve. And I think it's going to be a combination of some of what we did here. We'll be looking at opening the portal, but you're way ahead of that. So yay for you. And I might also be looking at like love and abundance because they're connected. It's love and abundance in all forms. So I may eventually title it that, but it's about really kind of celebrating, opening, and trying to create a better shift of energy because it's been a tough 2020 and I'd like all of us to have more love and abundance next year. Okay. Thank you. I see we're still getting some support here through Super Chat. All those fun cards on the right, again, you guys helped me with, and I appreciate you for doing that. I'm going to give you some ways to connect with me. All of it's on my website, so I'll give you the address first. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. If you have trouble remembering how to spell my name, don't worry about it. You can just click on my picture on really any of, whether it's web or on the phone, and that'll take you to my main profile page. Click about, all the stuff is there, okay? A lot of times I get people saying, do I have a Venmo? No, but I have a PayPal. It's paypal.me/nicholasashbaugh. Again, that's on my main about page or it's on my website just to make sure that you're sending it to the right person. If you would like to, if you're watching this on replay, there's also a special feature if you're looking at it on a computer or on an Android device, not iOS at this point, unfortunately. You can click the applaud button and that works just like Super Chat. I'd love for you to join me on social media. I usually will put a story reminder 24 hours before it happens, like before I go live, and sometimes a couple days before, so you know when I'm broadcasting. I put actual links on Instagram and on Facebook. I also do it on the fleets on Twitter. My most social media is just my name, Nicholas Ashbaugh. Twitter's the one exception. It's Ashbaugh. Follow me on all to get updates about upcoming videos. On Goodreads, if you have questions about my book or where to buy it, you can go there. That's a great place to get some more information, or my website. And TikTok, again, I think I might be doing some more fun things here. You might have noticed I tweeted the other day about some of the books that I liked when I was growing up. So maybe I'll do like slice of life and it's just more fun and more me. So I'll figure that out, but I am on TikTok. I'm just busy this month figuring out other stuff. So I'll continue to develop that. Patreon and being a channel member is a great way to give back, to kind of like set it and forget it. Patreon, you can do it for like $1 a month or like $11.40 for the whole year. And it makes a big difference in everything that you see here. Same thing with the channel membership. You can click join, you can cancel, you can rejoin at any time. It's pretty chill with respect to that. And finally, this just helps with discoverability. So if you like what you see and you want other people to see it, let them know. And that helps me out. And I mentioned the book. It's called The Luminous Ones. It's on Amazon as well. It's on all the major retailers, actually. So you can get it on Amazon, on Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Blackwell's, I think it's called, Waterstones. There's a bunch of sites. So go to my website if you want more information. In the meantime, thank you so much. I really enjoyed today's session. I always do, but like it's been kind of magical yesterday and today. I feel like there really is a nice shift of energy happening. January, I like a lot. And so we'll see how it kind of pans out for all the signs, because every sign brings its own energy. But you look like you're in a good direction. You just have to be willing to move with some of the changes. But with you couldn't ask for something better, like 8 of Wands and 6 of Wands and Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Cups. It's like some good stuff ahead, okay? So just don't get in your own way and don't let other people get in your way. And I feel like you've got some exciting times ahead. All right, much love and light from Apollo, who's snoozing in the background, and me. I wish you all the best, okay? Take care, and join me if you can for the New Year's special live. And thanks again for some of the last minute super chats. I appreciate you guys. All right, take care. Ryan and Maria, thanks for your help today as well. All right, bye guys.